Welcome to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast, a racing show for the fans by a fan. Welcome into this, the 36th episode of the Caution Flag Contemplations. In this particular season, you didn't hear me on episode 35. Old D-Watt knocked it out all by himself, solo, flying high. Got it done. Appreciate you filling in on the this short notice while I was at the beach. Just absolutely doing nothing. Pretty sure. Actually, I don't know. I think so. That when you recorded that, we were at the first island, and it was strange. But did y'all have a good week?
Oh, yeah. It was good for me.
Yeah.
Went to the baseball game here in Chattanooga. Got me a foul ball.
Playoff
I ain't
game?
got a ball in years.
Was that the playoff game?
Yeah, playoff game. Yep, they still got a ball, and then they passed out a couple of magnets. That was on Thursday. So that was kind of cool. They say that's going to be it. So I'm looking forward to the new stadium. I've been to this old one for many, many years, so it was kind of cool to be old enough to be around to see it kind of begin and see it go. So for me, it's kind of cool to go one last time. So we went out there with some friends, and I got some free tickets last month or a few weeks ago. So we went out there with some friends, and it was a good weather, and got to enjoy one last game.
That's good. They should just go ahead and turn that place into a racetrack. They closed Boyd's down. So
There you go.
let's go ahead and get that. I don't know if y'all saw. I mentioned Boyd's in the last episode. I did briefly, and it made it into one of the TikToks. And some guy put something, a crying emoji in the comments. He's like, "Boyd's mentioned, rip." So I don't know, but I thought it was pretty funny that people actually remember that place, even though it was kind of whack there at the end. You know, Dale McDowell and old D2. Hadn't seen nothing out of him in a long. I mean, he just fell off face of the earth, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. But yeah, that's what they should do in Chattanooga. Just go ahead and build a dirt track downtown. I mean, hell, probably build a nice quarter mile. Just make it a triangle. Like, what's that one track they went to earlier in the year? Is it Florida? Is it Bubba?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's got a little triangle to it. Let's just build a triangle out there. I mean, we'll call it the Caution Flag Contemplations Speedway, and JP will do the track prep. I'll flag it, and D-Watt can do the announcing on social media. We'll be good.
Oh, yeah, I thought you'd say. Oh, yeah.
Then we'll just see who shows up. Build it, and they'll come. That's all I'm saying. Build it, and they will come. But anyways, JP, did you do anything fun with your off week?
Nothing
No.
too crazy work.
Lazy. Worked my ass.
Some of us actually have a real working job, unlike you.
Listen, I will have you know I worked for 8 hours today. Okay? I don't want to hear
That's the only time you'll do it all this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I went to Hawaii. It was a good time. So I was looking for the pictures. I think they're on the wife's phone because I was driving the car. They do have a dirt track in Hawaii. They do not run late models. In case you're curious, nobody is flying late models on a plane out to the island to race. So it's
Fly
like,
him down to Australia.
yeah, but see, they're like, I guess they have enough racing there. You gotta think about like size-wise. All these islands in Hawaii, there's like 5 main islands or whatever. Like, you can't just put them on a boat, ship them to island and island. Australia, you get the whole Australia to race on. So I don't know, but basically it's essentially maybe like an enduro class. It looks like from what I found online. They had some sprint cars. They do have sprint cars, whatever. But I looked up, they only race like once a month or something. But it was like Maui County Speedway or something. And we were just driving down the road, and there was like a car up on like a platform for the sign. I was like, holy crap, they got a racetrack here? And we tried to pull in, but much like anywhere else there, if you're not local, you're not allowed. So, had to whip it back out of there. Didn't stay. I want to take the Jeep around the track. I had the little Jeep Wrangler rental. I thought that'd be a good place. Just let her rip, see what it had in it. But didn't work out. They do have racing in Hawaii, for those of you that are curious. What they don't have is time zones that are convenient for anybody that's trying to watch flow racing or anything like that when they're there. Like, you go to bed and they're already done. That's how far behind they are in time. That should tell you something. I had a good week, though. It was a great time. Got a little sunburnt. Not on my eyes because I was wearing sunglasses. The wife's like, you really need to quit wearing sunglasses when you're outside in the sun sometime. But yeah, overall, good time. Flight didn't shake too bad, made it back. Big news of the week. Probably the biggest headline I think we've seen was the Rico Abreu Racing Tony Stewart merger on the push and flip side of things. JP's favorite. So, I don't know if y'all listened to that episode of the download. I listened to it on the plane. But, yeah, Tony was kind of pretty negative on old Donnie Schatz there. He didn't really pull any punches. They did like the announcement through the Dale Jr. download. It's pretty interesting. If you guys hadn't heard that, I recommend you go listen to it. But he's basically like, I mean, I've been letting Donnie run it for the last 10 years, and everybody knew the issues we were having, and blah, 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 blah. And all he wanted to do was show up and race. Cars were terrible, blah, 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 blah. So kind of interesting to hear that go. But he basically said he should have fired him 2 years ago. Tony's letting it hang out now. He's married, kids, left NASCAR, basically talking crap about a Hall of Fame push and flip driver. So, you know, good for him. I like this Tony Stewart, and it's one of those things. I did not like him when I was a Jeff Gordon fan growing up, but the older he gets, the more I'm like, yes. And I really put him in that, like, I guess he's kind of in that, like, AJ Foyt category. Like, he's not quite got that age, but he's headed that direction. So we'll see what happens there. And if he wins his championship this is the question I had for y'all. If he wins his championship, does that make him the GOAT, like, all across motorsport? Yay, nay?
I don't know. Possibly.
Probably so. I mean, he's done it all. If he gets the championship in this, I mean, what else is there to check off the list?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, he ran IndyCar. He's not running Formula One. Here's the thing about it. Formula One wouldn't be welcoming enough to that because they're a bunch of asshats. If Formula One wasn't so persnickety and snooty, then maybe. But, like, they don't care. They don't even want to see anybody like him try it. So I don't know, but he could have back in the day potentially. I think he's already kind of the best all-around racer. We've talked about that before, like making a show where we talk about like what would be the dream schedule for somebody like Kyle Larson or Tony Stewart, and somebody that's raced a lot of stuff. It's just cool to see. So definitely appreciate that about him. But other than that, JP, you got a little Formula One update. I know that we did do the picks, folks. You know, if we weren't on here, we did text the picks. JP tried to sneak an extra pick in there. I guess he's feeling the heat. He hasn't won in about 10 weeks, so he felt the extra heat. So that worked out for you. Too bad it was crap.
After the old F1 summer break, my boy Max has been on fire, undefeated in the 2 races they've had since then. Absolutely whooped them in Monza, and then absolutely whooped them this weekend. And now it is possible that he could come back from like 100-something points to win the championship.
But, I mean, so how bad do the rest of them have to finish? Like, last, outside the points every race?
I think one other guy has to finish, like, DNF one time, and then literally they can finish on the podium with him if he wins the rest of the races.
Well, we'll see what happens. They're probably cheating. Good for them. I know the #1 Red Bull Racing fan in Chattanooga. If you need his number, I got it in my phone right here. I can send it on over at any point in time. He'll love to tell you how great Red Bull and Max Verstappen are. So, yeah, just let me know. But I guess that's cool. I mean, I would like to get into Formula One. Are they almost done? I don't even know how many races they have left. How many races?
They have like 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah, that's because they went pretty late last year. Like that Vegas thing was like November, like almost Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. So, are they finishing Vegas again this year?
No, I think it's Abu Dhabi.
Or maybe that's where it was last year. Actually,
pretty sure that's where they always have the championship.
Probably. Like I said, I don't know. I don't watch it, so I just remember the Vegas thing being at like 3:00 in the morning and the manhole covers and all that. So I don't know. Well, congratulations on your girl Max getting a win. Proud of him. Except nobody cares. So did they have any team orders to pull over and get out of his way?
No.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that later.
On pole and whooped him.
We're going to talk about Ryan Blaney cheating into a win after he started on pole here before too long. So don't worry, we'll get there. But other than that, did y'all see this Clipper's modified race on Flow from New Hampshire? It was at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is crazy time to start a feature race. But have you seen the clip at the end of this thing at all? You're probably watching Game Day. So I didn't even get the name of this guy that wins. But basically, you're going to have to find this clip. It's on Flow. But he makes the bump and run in turn 4, just absolutely runs down under the guy, shoots him up the track, passes him. And then on the front stretch, the guy's making a run back around him. He just turns right in front of him, knocks his left rear off, noses in the wall, hammers down both of them all the way to the finish line. Checkers and Wreckers has to take it to the victory lane on the rollback, but he got the win. Just curious, I wish y'all would have seen the clip, but like, is it acceptable to just wreck somebody and win and then celebrate? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's pretty. I saw it. I didn't like it. I thought it's pretty crappy way to end the race. Like, I think he was gonna beat him anyways, but just stay inside. And like, they have spotters, so no excuses. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was not Justin Bonsignor, or I guess it was Justin Bonsignor that he cut off. And like I said, he absolutely sent this thing from the wall to like the very inside grass of turn 3 and came across his bumper on entry, and then kind of shot him up, and then he had pushed way out, obviously, and then he cut back and then turned back in front. It's pretty wild, but I don't know. I hadn't seen the checkers or wreckers in a while. The car couldn't pass tech though, so I just feel like it shouldn't be a win. I don't know. I don't love it, but we'll see what happens there. I guess we'll talk about that more later. Other than that, back into dirt. Pretty much we had the Lucas was at Knoxville, and there was a bunch of other smaller races, and apparently a lot of the World Outlaws guys were just too scared to go run Lucas because they didn't want to blow up their motors. Did y'all see Hoffman's tweets?
Oh yeah, I saw all that on X. He just kept going on and on and on, and just, I mean, you know, that's his thought and opinion, and he can have it. But man, he just, at some point, either just, if you don't want to go, then don't go, stay at the house. But
he did.
You don't got to vent all that out for all to see.
He did stay at the house. I'll give him that. He did stay at the house. At least he didn't go and then complain.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. They got there in Knoxville. JP's going to cover the feature for us. I'll get us there. Pretty much what happened is you had the Thursday, Friday prelims. Night numero uno. I think it was raining off and on kind of all night. Hudson absolutely junked one pretty hard up in the fence. They got that big, tall, like 12-foot Armco, whatever it is, barrier, which is pretty wild. And he pretty well junked that car, which I hope they don't rewrap a car with that wrap on it. I feel like, this is interestingly enough, him and Carson Ferguson both also flipped, who were both running their World 100 wraps. The one for Hudson is like Hunt with Hudson or something like that, and then Carson Ferguson is like a bulldozer thing. And I don't know, you run a special wrap outside the race you're supposed to run it at. Maybe that's what happens. Do better than that. No, I don't know. But I hate that for Hudson. Obviously, I picked him in our group. I'm wearing the shirt. And it worked out for him, just for the record. I don't know, getting out that backup. Sometimes that's just what you need, Find another groove. So, but anyways, I don't know. That's what happened on Thursday. They had a rained shortened race after that. Garrett Albertson gets the win. And then Friday, Devin Moran gets the win on the prelim. Thankfully, not wearing a daggum Ohio State uniform. Thankfully, they had 39 cars Thursday. 40 on Friday, and I believe they had 39 again on Saturday. Big car counts for 75,000 win, right, JP?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But anyways, you want to tell us about the Saturday feature? How'd that go down?
It was pretty good there at the beginning. Davenport led. He got out front pretty good, and then him and Moran actually had a really good race going on. They battled a good bit, and then Davenport ended up blowing a motor, I think is what they said. The best part of the race for me was watching Bobby Pierce DNF. Had a power steering issue go out. Something that they changed about Knoxville is actually, I think, the reason that Hudson won. They had recently, I don't know when they did it, but at some point they cut down the berm on the inside, and Hudson absolutely was just ripping the damn bottom. It looked like he'd found a rut down in 3 and 4 and was just slinging out of it, and absolutely, I think at the end of the race, I think the times were like a second and a half faster than everybody or something. But he went out there towards the middle, the end of the race, and absolutely just laid it to him and got the dub.
Yeah, I mean, Hudson's always been fairly good at that track. I mean, I know that my pick was a little out of left field. He's always run good there, so I don't know why y'all were so surprised on that one, but good to see him get the win. Dalton Wilson back up there. They skipped the world, right? So kind of surprised to see them do that. But good to see them back out there. Donald McIntosh, top 10. Turbo, still got that 01 machine rolling out there. Got him top 10. Ewart ended up actually winning the picks with this race, even though the Hudson O'Neal was the winner. We went 1-1, and then his fourth place for Brandon Shepard is what broke the tie. So mine would have been Chase in fifth. So Chase let me down per usual, always. So, but yeah, happened. A lot of attrition. Davenport, like I said, blew up, finished 18th. So there's not a lot of cars running at the end of this one for sure. I don't know. Good to see Hudson up there. Interestingly enough, I want to talk to y'all real quick about the Lucas Dirt points. I threw that up here. And apparently I didn't put the link in here. But basically, RTJ has a 70-point lead over Davenport, and then he's 80 points up on Moran and Hudson. So we'll see what happens. RTJ kind of pulling away here at the end. Obviously, we'll get to the Eldora finale, and we'll see what happens. Only got 2 weekends left. So you got Brownstown and then Eldora, and that's it. So Lucas is really wrapping it up here. All these point series are kind of wrapping it up. So if y'all want to make a pick, is RTJ going to hold on or not? That's the question.
No. It's not gonna happen.
I hate to say this because I'm a JD fan, but I just feel like RTJ is really kind of setting the tone as of late. And a couple things I wrote down. What's going on with JD? Like, as a fan, do you start to get nervous about him with not getting the finishes that you want to see. Like when I saw him blow up there, I was like, all right, it's just all going to come down to Eldora, and which I like and I don't like as a fan. Which I mean, I guess in this situation it's good because it basically come down to Eldora. So like RTJ probably might deserve the championship, but then how it all shakes out at Eldora. So it's hate to see JD have these. He's had some bad luck or whatnot with what's going on as of late. So hope he can figure it out. I like to see him running. I just want to see these two guys run well at the end and compete and just have the best driver win, and that's what I'm really shooting for. But unfortunately, I'll probably go with RTJ.
I think RTJ's getting hot again at the right time. I guess, like, for me, to say that Davenport's not getting the finishes, like, he just won 2 features at Eldora. Like, he's been quick. We said earlier in the year, RTJ started hot, kind of slumped, but now he's getting it back together. Who was it he had crew chiefing up there? I can't remember. I seen it. It was one of them old Midwest guys. Brian Burkhofer was crew chiefing for him this week. I was like, what the crap? Where'd that come from? So, it's kind of interesting because they keep talking on what's this, Dirt Reporters. They keep talking about the fact that, like, Ricky's making all these crew chief changes himself this year and blah, 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 blah. And then now it's like, well, but now he went and got a crew chief, even though he's been fast. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see him do that. Davenport has 17 wins on the year, so don't knock him too much. I'm sorry, 16, according to the website. Who knows if it's up to date, but that's what's up there. So he's still doing all right. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. Going into Eldora, Eldora's a streaky track, right? And Davenport's streak might be coming to a close here. We'll see what RTJ has. But I kind of am with D-Watt. I think RTJ kind of gets it done here, really. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. And I hope I'm wrong. JP hopes I'm wrong, too. Actually, all 3 of us hope I'm wrong. But we'll see what happens there. So, other than that, a couple things on that was the hunt front. So, you had Joyner up there. He did stick his nose up there, ran pretty good. Early in that one, I don't know where he ended up finishing, but he finished 13th. He was up there early, though, in that feature, like in the top 5, kind of mixing it up in the JCM Motorsports. Is that correct? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. In the 19 car, I'm curious to see what happens with that whole situation. Like, for our regional racing, what he does next year is kind of going to make it, break it. Like, if he goes and runs Lucas in that car full-time in 26, do they keep running the Hunt Front Super Dirt Series, which I feel like has been a great success this year? Like, he's not going to race it, but are they going to keep that series going, right? Like, or is it going to get shut down? This is going to be the end of it. They only have 2 races left this year. They got a big race this weekend, and they have Cherokee coming up in a couple weeks. And it's like, I don't want to see it go. I feel like it's been good for the area to have a higher-paying regional series, not trying to knock the oldest of them being Southern All-Stars, but, like, that, $3,000 to win super late model races just ain't doing nothing. They're not. It's not cars that you want to see. So just really curious to see what happens with that. And then, like, that 19 car, man, they have gone through some drivers, haven't they? Like, I mean, right? Spencer Hughes, Will Harrington, now him. There was somebody else before that. Even I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happens with that. But do y'all think that if he runs full-time Lucas Hunt's Front Super Dirt Series, or don't you think they'll keep it going?
I'd say they'll probably keep it going, honestly. I think they will.
I hope so. I really do. I think they could. I don't know. I hope so. It'd be bad if they didn't, so we'll see what happens there. I don't know. Other than that, this is a good one. So, they had the Southern All-Stars, who we just talked about. They had their dirt race on asphalt. You saw that, right? I know D-Watt's a big fan of that.
We need to quit doing that dumb.
When I saw that, I was like, what the heck am I watching?
They did it last year.
Maybe they've done it years ago, and I don't know the back history, honestly, but it just don't feel right, don't look right. Like,
they did it for like the first time last year. It's the dumbest shit ever. We don't ever need to do it again.
Yeah. They did it last year.
It's stupid.
They did this year at Anderson, South Carolina. Both times they drew a total of 11 cars, unfortunately, this last weekend.
I mean,
for a 12,000 to win race.
Like, what?
Listen, Jamie Oliver sat on the pole, got the win.
Let's talk a little bit of technical race car technicalities.
Here we go. From the fans. Right. This is a fan show, don't forget.
A dirt late model, okay? The rear end in a dirt late model is designed to move sideways, up and down, all kinds of shit. You go get in an asphalt car, it only goes up and down. It's not supposed to go like a late model. A late model is specifically built for dirt and it needs to stay that way. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it looked pretty cool. They're pretty quick. They look like they're faster than asphalt late models. Somebody will definitely comment on this video and tell me I'm wrong on that. But I don't know. I like it. So I guess Newport Speedway asked, should they try it out? Right down the road. I mean, I think I'm all for it. I figured, especially with y'all's attitude, I'll pay for both of y'all to go next year if Newport Speedway does it. So, I mean, hey, I don't know if these tracks are really worn out like they say they are. Maybe you need that thing to move around. I don't know.
That it is feasible for is Crown Vics.
Front wheel drives?
I mean, maybe, sure, whatever.
They run those Pure 4s. I mean, already. I don't know.
Those aren't front wheel drives.
I don't know. It is what it is. Wow, that was intense. Big race at Mountain View this weekend too. I don't know if y'all seen that. That was like All-Star crates or something like that. You had Carolina Clash at Cherokee Speedway. Chris Ferguson gets the win. No shock there. Corey Hedgecock gets the win at the North Georgia Speedway, $7,500 Make You Holla Southern Thunder late model series. And then Jed Emmert gets the win in the Topless Outlaw race at Smoky Mountain Speedway. 5,000 to win over Rusty Ballinger, Brandon Kinzer, Cameron Weaver, Bobby Giffen. And y'all see who finished number 6? Riley Hickman.
Baby.
R1, baby. We're in the topless stuff. So, good to see that out here for him. But to me, this is an awesome field. Hayden Owenby, Manley, Courtney. This is all the guys that we all watched race for a long time. So I like to see that class. They had a good car count. 36 cars show up for this topless race again. I know that we had talked about that earlier in the year. And then they did a couple races in Georgia, and it wasn't so high. I think earlier in the year they had like 49 show up at one point, which, that was probably a little too many for them. But I don't know. Cool to see them out there getting it done. That sounded like it was a pretty decent race. Didn't get to watch it. I was in Hawaii, but congratulations to all them on the wins. Trey Mills picked up the big win at the Magnolia Speedway, cotton picking 100, I guess. I don't know if it's 100 anymore. But picked that up. They had 42 cars show up out there, 20,000 to win. For Trey Mills, I feel like that's probably the biggest win I've heard about him having money-wise. We think so, maybe, probably.
Yeah, probably
something like that. So they had 42 cars show up. Like I said, pretty decent field. He finished first over Jimmy Owens, Spencer Hughes fourth, Cade Dillard fifth. Dotson, Clanton, those are some of the bigger names. Billy Moyer, Sam Seawright, you figured he'd been pretty good out there. They just hadn't had that much luck since their little deal at Eldora, I reckon. So hate that for them. But other than that, not a whole lot more to talk about on dirt. We're already 28 minutes in this thing. Coming up, we have Flow Racing at Tri-State Speedway in Habestad, Indiana. I believe that is on Wednesday, the 24th. And then you have Lucas's at Brownstown, 10K and 60K, Friday, Saturday night. And then Hunt the Front is at Southern Raceway, Milton, Florida, 8K, 12K. So for those of you that don't have a subscription to Hunt the Front TV like I don't, if you wanted to buy a month, might not be a bad time. That would get you both of their weekends here to finish up their points. I want to talk about their points very briefly here. You have it's a close race between Owens, Zach Mitchell, and Corey Hedgecock. Owens has 14 points on Mitchell and 28 points on Corey Hedgecock. And then Joyner's like 58 back, 68 back, something like that. So, kind of curious to see what happens there. That'd be a good battle with those guys. Going down to Southern, don't know that's really who that would favor out of that group. I don't think any of them have really raced there a lot. I don't think Corey's raced there.
Other than Joyner, that's his home track. So
yeah, but he's farther back, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's in fourth, so he's going to have to win. And then also, is he running Lucas this weekend? Because I read somewhere he was running Lucas this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. I was wondering, that 19 car might be committed to the Lucas owner points, possibly, but I don't know. I'm trying to look right here. They have, I thought I saw that somewhere. I don't know. Maybe not. But their website it's hard to find some of these things. Have you know that they keep points on like hot laps now? It's a great time.
That's kind of stupid.
Longhorn Chassis is whooping it on the points race too, just for the record. But if sometime you really should go look in here. Crew chief of the race, all this kind of great. They actually have some pretty cool little sponsor deals with Lucas that they don't have everywhere. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Hopefully Corey gets a win. Corey and Jimmy's, I feel like they've got together before, and it's not always the prettiest. So for me, I'd like to watch them. And then Zach Mitchell, man, he's been tough to beat the last few times he's raced. I think he hasn't been running much because he's trying to win that points thing, and I hadn't seen him out there a whole lot. So we'll see what he's got. And I think it'd be a good one at Southern, and then they finished up at Cherokee. And if Zach Mitchell's in screaming distance at Cherokee, he's probably the favorite, right? I mean, that's his area more than Corey or Jimmy. Jimmy, they both run there plenty, but we'll see what happens. So that's all I got. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. Any other news y'all need to talk about? Sounds like no. All right, I'm going to hand it over to D-Watt. We'll talk about NASCAR at New Hampshire. He's going to talk about that Belt 2A, and then we'll talk about some Cup Series after that.
All right, New Hampshire. I think it's a great track. I've got me a little shot glass of New Hampshire. Got that a while back.
Hold on, where'd you get
I got it over in East Ridge at one. I got it over at East Ridge at one of the antique stores a couple years ago. I thought, when I saw it, I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So I figured I'd get that. But, yeah, so truck race is Heim time. Leads a lot of the laps. He wins both stages. Wins the race. Man, he's just faster than these other guys. Couple of notes I got. Chandler Smith. He was running really good there. He's probably the only guy that had anything for him. But man, it's just I watched his race just as a fan, and every time you turn it on, it's Heim. It's just out front leading. So it's. I would say it's good for the sport, but I don't know if it's really good for the sport because every time you turn it on, the same guy is leading and winning. And I guess at the beginning of the year, I wasn't so sure about him, and I probably was on here saying stuff about him. But I feel like he gives good interviews, which is just for me. I care a lot about these guys on what they say and how they say it after they win or lose. So I feel like he handles himself well. He's just really got it going on. And then Elaine Riggs is another driver that's probably going to be his contender for the championship. I'd say it's going to be one of those two going for it, unless Smith can get up there and do something there towards the end. Come time for Phoenix, which they're kind of coming down to the end of their season a little bit. They still got a few more to go, but it's getting closer to time for them to get it together if they want to compete. All in all, I like New Hampshire at the track. We'll get into that here in a little bit with the Cup race. Fast Truck won, and he got what he deserved. You can see him win. Is that win number 9, I think? And he tied Biffle for most wins in the season. I think I saw that. So that's pretty cool. He's on top, and he's got it going his way. And maybe there'll be some kind of announcement here in the next little bit about his next plans. So I'll be curious on that. But I guess that was the truck race. It was time all day.
Yeah. I think, well, first of all, we'll go ahead and the announcement is that he's going to run part-time at 2311. That's pretty much all but announced. I guess the only thing that could change that is how this lawsuit goes or whatever. But it sounds like that's still the plan. But we'll see. Maybe that 11 car is going to open up. I don't know. I'm sure you're about to talk about that here in a minute. 9 wins is impressive. I was looking at the point standings earlier. So, he has 79 playoff points. Or drift point. 79. And the maximum you can earn of those are races. 5. Yeah, and he has 79. Oh my God, that's a lot. So yeah, he's done a lot of winning, a lot of stage winning. Think about how many races he blew earlier in the year. That's what blows. He probably blew 5 on pit road. Definitely out there getting it done on them. We'll see what happens. If he does not win the championship, that is going. I just put this somewhere in your little notebook. If he does not win the championship, that is I'm not for a 36 race championship. But if he doesn't win this championship, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel like he got screwed. So, but I don't know the rules when it started, so we'll see what happens there. So, all right, Cup Series. What you got for us? You don't even like Ryan Blaney, I know.
Oh, let's see here. Well, so the pole went to Joey Logano, which the Fords got the front row. So it was good to see the Fords do well in the qualifying. They had some test sessions a while back, so I feel like they learned a little bit on that with the tire test, I believe. Stage 1, which is so in stage 1 was when the Austin Dillon and Cody Ware or something like that, they got into it early on, which there was a little bit more of that to come later. So stage 1 goes to Ryan Blaney, and so that was, he led 112 laps, 116 laps, something like that. So he ran well. So then let's get into stage 2. This is when I was watching it live, and I've got a couple of notes on this part of it here. So Ty Gibbs was racing pretty aggressively. They're 3 wide the laps before this whole Hamlin situation. So this is just from my opinion, from what I saw, Hamlin had enough of Ty Gibbs and took him out. And even just as a fan, from seeing some of the onboard cameras and some of the coverage from the race, was even though he was up by the wall when he got spun, it was still a pretty good hit, and He had to put his hands off the wheel, and it really got him got his head all knocked around a little bit for that kind of hit he had. But they didn't talk much about that on the broadcast. I was kind of surprised they like to bring up that kind of stuff. But each driver didn't really say nothing after the race. I saw Joe Gibbs was talking to Hamlin, and some of those other guys were all huddled up talking. And the broadcast was really pushing that it's time for Joe Gibbs to step in, and he's the owner, and he's got to handle this situation. And then they interview Joe Gibbs after the race, and he's like, well, the drivers are holding the wheel. They're going to handle it. So I get it. They're going to handle that, all at the shop. And I'm sure they had a good meeting this afternoon. I'm sure that went. One thing about Hamlin is
a bug on the wall for that one.
Yeah, he always says on his podcast that he does not like these awkward driver conversations, and when other drivers have gotten into it in the past with other teams, that he hates these things and he hates these conversations he's got to have, and then here he goes having it. And then with Hamlin is, he got wrecked by other people, almost the kind of same kind, like him and Chastain got into it, and it was almost like Chastain took him out at St. Louis a couple years ago. It was like some of the same stuff that goes on, and then he just wrecks people, and then it's okay, I guess. And he said he made a mistake or whatever. And I mean, he did or whatever, but that was intentional. And it's tough when the grandson of the owner that's just a tough situation. And the TV was talked pretty good about that part of it. And 54 is running, trying to prove himself, prove it to his team, prove it to his sponsors.
He ain't proved jack. He's either got to get off the pot, and I think they need to kick him off the pot at this point.
So, will this continue? I don't think so. I really don't think so. He said game on after he got wrecked in the in-car audio. I just don't. I think it's a lot of hype, and I don't see it really much continuing from this. Did Denny just lose his mind a little bit and take him out? Yeah, in my opinion, I think he did. I probably talked about this, but Ty was aggressive, and when I was watching it live, when he was just going through and banging off these drivers, and had his other teammate Bell right next to him, and it was just something I didn't expect to see, and it happened. So it is what it is on that. Be curious to hear what y'all have to say. But stage 3 was when Cody Ware, I think that's who it was, went for the payback on Austin Dillon. And smacked the wall. There's one rule in racing: if you're going to pay back somebody, you do not wreck yourself. And he wrecked himself. It was just a bad angle, and he just didn't have it timed out right. You can tell he probably doesn't do it enough to know what he needs to do to wreck somebody, but he tried and he failed. So Ryan Blaney held off
Josh Berry.
Josh Berry. Anyway, so Josh Berry, he was able to hold him off, and Team Penske was looking strong, and as a Penske fan, I'm proud, and as a fan of Blaney, I can rest pretty easy the next 2 weeks, because I feel like when he's not running well, and you watch these races, it's when you're a fan of a driver, you want to see him do well, and when he doesn't, and it gets down to crunch time, it's tough. So I can sleep easy knowing he's locked into the round of 8. So
yeah.
All in all, it's good to see Blaney get the win. Gives good interviews after the race. I like him as a driver, and it's good to see him get the win.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, good win, Blaney. I mean, he'd said, fast, led a bunch of laps, yada yada yada. That's something I didn't get to watch this race. I was on the airplane on the way home. I did catch the very end. I caught Josh Berry absolutely just letting him win the race. I did catch that. Basically what happened there was Wood Brothers got told, you either let the 12 win or you don't get a car next week. It's up to you. I don't really care. No, I don't know. I mean, Josh took the one swipe at him, and I felt like if he really wanted to get to him, he could have. But it wouldn't have been a bump and run. It would have been he would have spun him, I think. I think it would have looked more like Hamlin and Gibbs. And I actually just don't think Josh Berry's that guy, really. I don't think that's how he's going to do it. He's dang sure not going to do it to a teammate. So, good win for your boy Blaney. But, that's definitely good for them to get through the round because, for him, Roval coming up, probably a little bit scary, right, for you.
No,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the Ty Gibbs thing, then we'll get into the playoff picture.
Hey.
JP, let's hear what you think about that first, because I could go either way on this one, just to be completely honest with you.
You know what? Denny said, get on the bandwagon or get ran over it. And I don't think Ty Gibbs got on the bandwagon. I mean,
You might got run over.
hey, sometimes when you got a dumbass teammate that just is being an idiot, sometimes you just got to straighten them out. And Ty Gibbs, he really doesn't deserve that ride. He's only in it because of his last name. He kind of sucks. Ever since he came to Cup level, he really just needs to stop. I mean, he's been in here for how long and hadn't done. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so I actually
Shit or
agree.
get off the pot.
I agree on all of your Ty Gibbs assessments. He's been a disappointment so far in his Cup career. Hate to say that. Now, here's the thing. If he could still turn it around, I guess next year. But like, I think that this is right now the moment at which somebody has to sit him down and say, "So, do you want to get remembered for this, or are you going to do something?" Because like, it's now time. As far as Denny goes, Denny tried to pass him. Couldn't get by him. I know it's hard to pass. Yada, yada, yada. His teammate. If roles were reversed and Denny was out of the playoffs, and let's just, I'm not going to say it's Ty Gibbs because let's just pretend it's not Ty Gibbs. But let's say that this is Briscoe, right, in the 19 trying to get by Hamlin for 18th midway through a playoff race, and Hamlin's not in the playoffs. Is Hamlin going to move? Yeah. Okay. So why is Ty Gibbs not moving? Like, does he want his team who his name is on the door? Literally, his name is on the sign. If you look out front, his name's on the sign. Does he want a championship for his name? Yay or nay?
Nope, he doesn't.
Apparently not. I mean, that's what I'm seeing, and like, I'm not saying for his driving that he's never going to be good enough to do it. I lean towards your opinion, like he hasn't looked good, but there's been other guys that didn't look good for 2 to 3 years. Chase didn't look good. Logano, and look where he's at now. There's been a lot of guys that did not look good for a while. Debatably, even like Bell took some time, and there's some of these guys that just takes time to get wins and get in there. So I don't know about completely writing him off, but yeah, he's got to do something better than that. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I'm curious to see what comes out of that. I felt like Hamlin said all the right things as far as like on the radio. I thought he was 100% correct when he said, are they afraid to talk to him? Because like his crew chief should have been on the radio 5 laps before that and say, hey, dude, look, this is our 2 teammates behind you. Because Bell was right behind Hamlin too. Like that's 2 out of their 3 chances to win this thing, right? Like you got, which I know Bell, I guess, is locked in or whatever from Bristol. So, like, but I mean, still, this is a track where, in theory, they're kind of testing for Phoenix a little bit, too. Like, your setups are probably going to be close-ish. So, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous on Gibbs' part. I like Hamlin doing it. I was ready to buy a T-shirt, straight up. I mean, I was like, good. Somebody said it. Somebody turned him. He wasn't afraid to do it. As far as the comments on pit road, I read a bunch of idiots today, like, Hamlin said he made a mistake. Guys, Hamlin's seen what happens when you say you wreck somebody. So if you're about what he said on pit road, you need to talk to NASCAR and tell NASCAR that you prefer it when they get out of the car and say they wrecked somebody when they wreck somebody. Because that's why Hamlin said he had a mistake. Hamlin knows what he did. We know what he did, but he can't go on his podcast and say what he did because he's going to get fined and suspended. That's stupid. Ty Gibbs blocked him. He moved him. I wish they could say that. I really don't like that he can't. Honestly, I think that's dumb. I haven't liked that this whole time. Things with Ross Chastain and all that, like, let him say it. Why are you judging off intent? If I was Denny in that moment, I probably would have moved him too. And, Denny is the senior driver there. He's there for 2 more years. They just signed him, which, how are they feeling about that right now? I don't know. They kind of had issue with Kyle Busch at the end of his career, if you really think about it. His attitude and losing sponsors, and it sounded like that his attitude was part of the reason they couldn't get sponsors. I talked about earlier in the year, I guess before D-Walt was on here, but Hamlin not having sponsors, he didn't have a sponsor when the year started. He signed Kings Hawaiian and Progressive both after the year started. When we went to Bristol, race number 4, or Atlanta, or wherever we went, I guess went to both, he didn't have merch with sponsors because he don't have sponsors. The shirt said Denny Hamlin on it, and just a generic race car, I don't know. Hamlin he's a good driver. In my opinion, he's probably going to get the championship done this year. Because I don't want it to happen. It'll probably happen. I hope not, but we'll see. So, I don't know. Bell, I bet that was a moment when Bell was really glad he'd won at Bristol. I don't know how he didn't get in the wreck, really.
Could you imagine if Bell had not been locked in and then Bell would have got taken out by that wreck?
Well, I mean, part of me is like, I know Hamlin, he ended up finishing 10th. I didn't watch the race because I was flying, but from what I've heard, he did not run good most of the day, but he kind of ended up squeaking out a 10th or whatever. But, like, if he didn't have that, what would have he has squeaked out? It would have been better than where he finished, probably. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Joe Gibbs, the hype on Joe Gibbs is overrated. He's a great football coach. But the whole thing about saying he's going to let the drivers sort it out, no. All he needs to say is we'll handle it internally. That's what he needed to say. He didn't need to say I'm going to let the drivers handle it, because really the question is, like, when they ask him, really what they're saying is, are you going to tell your grandson to get it under control or not? And his answer was, I don't want to be the one to do anything. I'm sorry. If you're a leader, you say we'll handle this internally. You don't need to worry about it. And when you get in that office day, you rip Ty's ass and you say, how do you expect to have him drive for you next year when you're wrecking him out? You know, like blocking him for a championship. Like, if you guys are wrecking each other, how do you expect him to race here? So, I don't know. That's my opinion, but we'll see what happens. So, D-Wall, I was curious. Were you trying to hint that, like, that was an intentional wreck and NASCAR should penalize Hamlin? Were you trying to say that, kind of? Were you talking about being a hard hit? I'm curious. Because it wasn't a right hook. You know, he turned him, but, you know.
He turned him. I don't know if I'd go that far, but when I was watching the replays over and over, I mean, it was a pretty good hit. He had to get his hand. I mean, it would have broke his fingers if his hands would have been in the spokes there. So it was just unique, something that, and some things, you know, I like to watch things that they don't talk about in the races, and I felt that was one of them. I thought last week's coverage was really good, and I talked about it last week on the show. Which this week's was good. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see some of the info on the in-car stuff, to see exactly the angle he took and all that good stuff, if that's all an option to see. But at the end of the day, he took him out. But I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see.
He got mad and spun him. So you know, we've kind of crossed this point where right hooks and all that. But I don't know. I don't want to suspend him. I want to be able to come out and talk about it, and I want Ty Gibbs to be able to come out and talk about it and all that. You know, Ty Gibbs stick his hand out the window like, what was that for? What do you mean, what was that for? Like, what? You know,
wearing white gloves.
Like what do you, like, we know he wrecked you because you were in his way. You wouldn't let him pass. Like, God, I don't know. I wish that, you know, the cars could pass better and that wouldn't have to be an issue, but it is what it is. We like tire fall off. Did you see how dirty those cars looked at the end of the race? Your boy Blaney, he's got that yellow, but dang, that thing was like black.
Looks like an actual race car.
I know.
Race cars are not supposed to be clean at the end of the race.
Yeah, sounds like I feel like this new tire is good. But obviously, we didn't talk about the Bristol thing. Sounded like that was a pretty good race too. So excited to see what we're taking to Phoenix. Probably the same hard ass tire we've took for the last 5 years, but we'll see what happens when we get there, I guess. On the points cut, real quick, Dennis is up 27. I think anybody Dennis and up is good. That's 5th and up. I feel like they're probably good. Logano is 6th, 24 to the good.
Logano will probably win this week.
He's not going to win this week. He will definitely get in, though, I think. The only thing that could hurt him is if he does something stupid at the Roval. Because if he doesn't win this week, like, Joey is not a road course racer, right? I mean, we're kind of in agreement on that. And you have some guys back here that can be. Briscoe, decent road course guy. Chase, I consider to be a good road course guy. Austin Cindric, Bubba, even this year, Tyler Reddick. And those are all guys that are going to be hunting wins, essentially.
Can you expect anybody to really beat SVG on road course at this point?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, in this playoff thing, on that restart, they'll wreck his butt. You can't. I mean, here's the thing. All right, so let's look at the points right now. If you're Bubba Wallace or Tyler Reddick, you restart within bumper length of Shane Van Gisbergen. 10 laps to go at the Roval, 20 laps to go at the Roval. Are you putting him in the fence? Because I would. Because you can either put him in the fence or it's over. If he's led all day, you can either wreck him and then maybe be done because they penalize you, or you can just be done because he's going to run away with it. So what would you rather do? I'd rather just take him out and go on. He may still run you down, just for the record, but I don't know. I mean, Bubba.
The new layout for the Roval is going to be interesting.
What, they added those chicanes back, right? The original ones that's going like in the turn one area.
No, they changed the layout of the infield.
Yeah, but so originally they had put those S's in there that they added back, and then they took them out, and now they've added them back in again.
It's not S's. Instead of doing the loop and then coming back down, they go all the way around, and then there's a sharp hairpin to get back on the track.
Okay. So it was supposed to be that way, but maybe it's one curve. Originally, when they did the original layout, back in the day when they released it, Dinger was the first driver that drove it and all that, driver that drove it and all that, like, they had put where it was, like, back and forth like a S. It wasn't S's, but it was like an S shape. And then you came up and made a sharp turn, but then they canceled that because he went through there and was like, we're going to wreck every single lap. So I don't know, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Either way, SVG is going to be good at the road course, but I don't see him winning. One of these guys is going to have to win to get in. They'll wreck him. I mean, that's my opinion. So we'll see. Couple questions. So first of all, Penske been slow, not slow anymore. Are they cheating? Yes. Okay. All right. We all know that. No, they are. Everybody is, but they're just cheating better. I mean, they're all cheating. They've been slow, and now all of a sudden they got the 2 fastest cars on the track. I mean, Daniel's a fan, and he knows, right? Like, you know, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I mean, they pull it back out. They do this every year, and they're really good at it, and I'm happy for it.
Literally.
But that's what they go get their wins early in the year. They tuck all this stuff away, and they pull it back out in the playoffs. Good for them. If they win a championship, good for them. I mean, it is what it is. All right, Kansas. So we're going to Kansas this week. This is something I want to point out. Last mile and a half. Do you know where it was? Coke 600. It's been a while, okay? Like, I guess you had Nashville in there too, but Coke 600 basically. Ross Chastain was real good. I don't know if y'all remember. He was real good.
Yeah.
Do you remember that whole thing a couple weeks ago whenever they had them run through the grass, the racetrack, to cover that nose up? How good do you think those Trackhouse cars are going to be this time? You think they're still cheating, or you think they got that under control? Because there's definitely something going on. I mean, it sounds like the word on the street is that they had them run through the grass for clearance height on the splitter or something like that. So we'll see how that affects them at Kansas. You know, Bubba and Tyler Reddick sitting there 11th and 12th right now in points. One of them has to win this weekend for them to both make it through, probably. They've had good speed at Kansas in the past as a team, but, you know, them two guys kind of have fallen off a little bit here, and then you wonder, NASCAR let them to the first round of playoffs, but are they going to let them to the second round?
Here's the thing. If they win, they're not passing Tech. Sorry.
They'll pass Tech. I didn't say they'd be a championship 4, but they'll pass Tech for now. So, really curious to see what happens there. Obviously, we're going to get the picks coming up, but like D-Watt, you said you had what 4 do you have out here? Because I don't know. I think this is probably going to be actually the hardest one to pick.
I've got Bubba Wallace. I just feel like he's not going to make it. Austin Cindric, I don't think he's going to make it, which he'd be one to watch at the Roval possibly. Ross Chastain, I like Ross, but I don't think he's going to win at Kansas, and I think he's not going to make it. And then Tyler Reddick, I got him out.
So you pretty much have what's out right now. So, I mean, here's the thing. So, Bubba or Tyler, either one of them could win this weekend, probably. We say Cindric is a road racer, but, like, unless it rains, he's really not any better than anybody else. So, I agree with you on Cindric. Chastain, I don't know. He could get the win. And then, you know, you still have the chance, like, what are the guys right in front of them could choke? Like you said, you got Briscoe. Yeah. Probably not.
You'd be one to watch a choke.
I mean, Toyota's been fast.
Here's going to be your 4 out.
Let's hear it.
It's going to be Chase Elliott.
Yeah, there you go.
Cindric and the 22311 cars.
That's fair enough. I mean, Chase.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chase is falling apart. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm frustrated. I know that, but I don't know what's going on. But again, so he could go and he could run good at Kansas. He could win Kansas. He could win Throval. He's won Throval. I mean, I don't know. But Logano, if Logano doesn't run good at Kansas, I don't know what his, you know, if I was him, I would be worried just because his deal with Throval. And then if you're not, you really need to have a good points day at Kansas to set yourself up to have some bad times at the Roval, because if you're not, you might get up in that, like, so am I going to take the stage points or the win? You're going to get in that track position game, and you know you can't do it like Chase did back in the day before we switched this BS car, where you just won the stages and the race. Right? You can't do that anymore. So we'll see what happens there, but I like it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick that Chase and Logano both miss. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So go ahead and slide Bubba and Tyler both in, actually. Yeah. From the bottom. That's my predictions. Picks for the week. I guess. Well, let me give you a quick update. D-Watts now all of a sudden got 10 points. He took the layup with the Georgia Bulldogs over Tennessee Volunteers. We didn't even get to talk about that. I was on the plane. It was heartbreaking. It was not on the kicker. Anybody blaming the kicker, we need to go back and watch the whole game before that and blame a lot of other people before we get to that. So that's a shame. But good job. D-Watt now has 10. I have 11. JP has 12. It's getting tight. Coming down to crowning the champion. I hadn't decided where the champion gets yet, but maybe we'll announce the champion. I'll pay for the board announcement at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Maybe I'll pay to get the champion announced on there. I think you can do that, right? Don't they have a thing on the screen like where you can pay and get something on the screen?
I think so, yeah.
I saw you could pay to sponsor a lap for Gateway Dirt Nationals. I was thinking about getting us a lap. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're probably gone by now. I looked the other day and there was like 5 left. So, but congratulations on that. You will be picking last this week. I let D-Watt pick first since he was the only one that did the show. I penalized me and JP, and he definitely took advantage of it. Took Corey Heim. I'm pretty sure if there is a truck race, first pick's gonna be Corey Heim for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I don't know about JP, but I'm done picking who I want to win. I'm now picking to win this stupid picks game because I don't want D-Watt to win after missing 5 weeks. So that'd be embarrassing. But we'll see what happens there. So JP's going to go first, then me, then D-Watt. Please pick in order. We'll do Xfinity Cup, then the Dirt to finish up, all right?
You mean Cup, then Xfinity?
No,
or
we're going
what?
to do Xfinity, then Cup. They're typed in upside down.
Give me
So,
the
Xfinity.
7 machine Justin Allgaier.
7 of Justin Allgaier for JP. All right. I'll take the 88 of Connors Hillish because it's back on a mile and a half. Why wouldn't he win? D-Watt?
All right, give me Sam Mayer.
Yeah, I already put that in there. I already knew. JP Cup pick, Kansas.
Man.
This
Give me
is-
Joey
this-
Logano.
Oh, man. You're just trying. Is that a block D-Watt pick, or was that like?
No, he's
I want the 19 to Chase Briscoe. Do you want?
Oh, do I say it? Give me Chase Elliott to win Sunday at Kansas.
Chase is not going to win.
Doubt it. I hope he does, but I doubt it. All right, Dirt. We have Lucas at Brownstown.
Give
What else do we
me
have? There was a few races. Well, there's a few races
the
you can pick from.
71 at the home track on Saturday.
All right. Okay. HUD to HUD for the double down. Okay. I like it. That Southern Raceway is real sandy, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Give me 23V at Southern Raceway.
Ain't happening.
That's a good pick. All right. Give me Devin Moran Saturday.
I guess wrong. I put in the 20 RT. Devin was actually my other pick, so that's a good one. Now, the only thing is, Award Outlaws is off this weekend. They were originally not supposed to be. They canceled for the weekend, so I think Hoffman said they were going to be there this weekend on his little post that he made. You could have a decent, 60,000 to win at Brownstown. You're probably going to have a pretty decent field to show up. So it may not just be a Lucas guy. I don't know. We'll see. If Bobby shows up, I'd imagine he'd be quick, although they've kind of fallen apart like in the last 3-4 weeks, I guess. So we'll see what happens there. I think that 99 is a solid pick, though. I'm kind of regretting going with I don't know. I think, Corey's got that new car. He's been really fast. Like, he's raced with, I know that he obviously won North Georgia, but, he raced with the boys up there at Bulls Gap before he got in the wall. He raced with Eldora before he cooked the tires. Like, I don't know. I think he's on another level. If it's not going to be him, it will be Zach Mitchell, probably. Jimmy is not. It's not where he needs to be right now. I hate that for him, but I wish it was. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens with him at the end of the year. So we'll see what happens on that. Any other silly season news? I feel like there was something else we need to talk about. I kind of forgot. I guess not. We'll see what happens with the Joyner thing. Joyner shows up at Southern. That 23V pick is junk, but I'm assuming that he's going to Lucas because I believe I read that somewhere earlier in the week. So we shall see what happens there. 1 hot minute. JP, what you got?
The people at iRacing recently in the biggest update, they completely redid the NSIM UI, and they need to go back to the original UI. It's terrible. I get it that it has upgraded features, but it looks ugly. You can't see it. It's just stupid. We need to go back. I don't care that it looks like a game from 2008. iRacing is a game from 2008, so it needs to go back to what it was.
So is there like a heads-up display now? Like it looks more like
No.
a heads-up?
Just like all the black boxes, and when you load into a session, everything's different.
I saw some screenshots. I haven't got back in it to see it, but I did see some screenshots on that. So.
It's terrible.
You're not the only one with that opinion. D-Watt, what you got?
I got one. My buddy at work got the win at I-75 Raceway this past Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Griswold got the Rocket chassis. He got 2 cars. The one he won with was the Rocket, so I saw that on Facebook. So that was cool to see him get the win. I talk to him when I can, and his son's also running like some kind of a mini late model or a mini stock, or some kind of mini stock maybe, something like that. So he went for a flip at a Duck River this past weekend or 2 weeks ago. He flipped his car a few times, and so it's their first year running late models and whatnot. So he got the win. So I saw him today. So that was congrats to those guys for getting the win.
That's awesome. I saw that post on Facebook right before we got on here. My one hot minute. My one hot minute is this. If we're going to a 4-race championship in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series or whatever you want to call it, Cup Series, round of 4. This is the tracks that it has to be, and it's not really negotiable. So Talladega, Watkins Glen, Bristol, and then Charlotte. That's what it needs to be. Nobody wants to do that.
Amen. We need
That
to have
needs to be
all
the
different
4.
types. That is the greatest thing I've ever heard you say about
and-
NASCAR.
I would put Daytona instead of Talladega, but I like Daytona for the cut race to get in the playoffs, so I feel like that's what it has to be. If you're going to go to 4-race format, I feel like you have to get all 4 of your tracks in there. If you don't, you've screwed around and mess with it. And I actually kind of want it in that order. I feel like you need to put that plate race first because it is going to be the biggest shuffler on your points and just kind of get it out of the way. And, I think wrapping the thing up in Charlotte would be wild. Have everybody close to home. Do your awards show in Charlotte. Like, don't, have everybody's families there. Don't drag them all over the country. Do it local. You guys know, like when you go to races in East Tennessee, like Bristol, you get a lot of fans from North Carolina. Or if you go to race in Charlotte, or you see these crowds at North Wilkesboro, that's where the race fans are at. And just have your championship thing there. Just try it, see what happens. If we're gonna go to 4 races, that's what I'd like to see next year. I know that's not really negotiable on the schedule. I don't think there's, they've already put the schedule out. I don't see them changing the schedule for next year. But if you're doing 4 races, I think it's what it has to be. You have to be representative of all of them. So Bristol and Martinsville could be interchangeable, I guess. I'm okay with that, but I would rather it be Bristol, personally. Put the best of the best in there and see what happens. So that's it. That's my hot take. One thing I want to ask you about. So today, I guess it was the teardown. If you're a race fan, you've probably listened to that show. They were talking about that there's mention, I guess, the possibility of taking away stage points or playoff points, I guess is what they were talking about. And I think that's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. I think that as long as you're going to have the playoff format, you have to somehow reward the guys that get wins with their seeding. But they were basically saying that they would just do away with all of the playoff points and just do a seeding and your points off seeding. I'm not with that. I'm sorry. I think that's the dumbest thing I've heard. Wins have to matter. Do you guys feel like the point system is too complicated? I keep hearing that.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it is?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain to somebody.
I don't think it's I don't find it to be hard at all. I guess if people get caught up and need to know, but you win the race, you get the most points. That's all you really need to know. I don't know.
Then why do we have 2 different types of points?
Well, one's for the playoffs and one's not.
So that's the stupidest I've ever heard.
So I guess
it's not simple if you have multiple types of points. If you want it simple, it's got to be one thing.
So if somebody goes and runs up and gets 5 wins, it shouldn't matter?
No.
So you're saying Corey Heim, who we just said has 79 playoff points in the Truck Series race, he should only have a 5-point gap on whoever's in second, even though he's won 9 races?
I think they should go back to do a full season championship.
Well, that's out the window, and nobody wants to see that. I'm sorry. Nobody really wants to see that. There's a reason why nobody watched those races at the end of the year. Okay, this is ugly. D-Watt kind of mentioned it in his show. But, going up against football at this time of year, I'm sorry. It's going to be hard for me to watch a truck race for the rest of the year with Corey Heim dominating like he is against a college football game. So, what's the viewership like? If I'm borderline, I'm not going to watch it, then I know that most other people are going to watch football. So, I don't know. I don't love that whole thing. I feel like if you have to reward the wins. If guys go out and get wins, they should get something for it. What makes the racing good right now is the guys racing for the wins, in my opinion. So I don't want to take that away. The 36 race thing, if you're a quote-unquote true naturalist, I get it. But, it's really not what anybody wants to watch. It'd be boring. You don't want to see that. Do you really want to watch that, JP?
Hell yeah, I do.
You want to watch them give the championship trophy away last weekend at Bristol with 9 races to go?
Yep, sure do.
Man, that's tough.
Because here's the thing. Corey Heim might not win the championship.
Yeah, but he got the rules just like everybody else did to start the year, and that makes it worth watching their last race right now. If not, they literally would have handed him the trophy and it'd be over. That's my point. I want to watch them race. If they're not racing for anything, they're just making laps at this point. Okay, so look right here. Hoffman has a 116-point gap to Bobby Pierce. They have 4 races left, right? Something like that. Maybe 5. They got 2 weekends, and then they have the World Outlaws World Finals. So, yeah, I don't that's pretty well over.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Lucas. We just talked earlier today about how Lucas is going to have this issue at Eldora and who's going to win. And I'm going to be watching that, biting my fingernails, trying to figure out who's going to win the race. And that's more exciting to me than knowing that Bobby Pierce won this championship 6 months ago when he won 10 races. Like, right? D-Watt, help me. Like,
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, I understand. I understand that, like, from this purist point, like, that's what you want. And, like, I'm not saying that weekly tracks should go to that because it's a little different. They're not necessarily as much in the entertainment. Those guys have earned it, and those guys are out here working regular jobs like me and you. And like your buddy at I-75, he spent every penny he's got to go out there and race. So for him to get his taken away if he goes out and does that, that's something different. I don't know. For the entertainment, it would go way down. So I like the playoffs. I would like to see a 4-race round instead of the 1 race, but honestly, I'm fine with the 1 race. Everybody knew where it was going to be. The only thing that I would like to see on that 1 race is I would borderline like to see it, like, pulled out of a hat and changed, and not, if there was a way to do it, which there's not, but to not announce it until the things like the playoffs start, that would actually be the most ideal thing to me. And I know that's not possible logistically. You got too much planning to do. Track's got to get ready. You got to sell tickets. You got to sell hotel rooms. You got to get food. All this. I understand that, but like, I don't know. You got to have a playoff though. I'm sorry. Be terrible without it. It's boring. It is the only excitement that comes right now, especially when the cars can't pass. Sorry. Ugly truth. Get us some cars that pass. Then we can talk about 36 race schedule. 1,000 horsepower? Can I at least get an amen on 1,000 horsepower, JP?
I don't know that 1,000 horsepower is going to fix the damn car, so.
1,200? 1,500?
I don't know that horsepower is going to fix the car, period.
Let's just make up small tire drag cars. We heard we need to talk about small tire drag cars on here. Let's just make up small tire drag cars. Oh, sorry, just kidding. All right, that's for Tony Stewart. But anyways, this the show is officially off the rails. I don't have anything else to add. Y'all got anything else you need to say? All right, well, go watch some racing this weekend. I'm probably not going to go anywhere. There's nowhere really local run anything crazy. They had a really good weekend this last weekend. I was out of town. I was like, damn it. But it is my child's 3rd birthday on Friday, so I'm sure we'll be celebrating that. I was debating going to Lake Cumberland, and I was like, oh, no, can't do that, because they have a topless race, I think, there on Friday, which would be cool to go to. But, I don't know, birthday party on Saturday for somebody else. Probably going to see JP's. Sorry, rear end Saturday, unless he's working, then I probably won't. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll have a good one. D-Watt's going to play pickleball. Probably watch a little dirt racing. I'll definitely be watching some racing. I miss it. I went back and watched highlights today, and I felt like an addict looking at a screen because I, took a week off to go to Hawaii, so. Once again, thanks D-Watt for filling in, getting the show done last week. Appreciate it. I'm going to put up the audio on the website this week from that one. I'll backdate it. I do have the audio converted now that we have the other file type.
Okay.
And I might put up a different video because I have the video. I can add the video with the intros and all that, but I might just leave it. We'll see what happens there. So, anyway, being on here, it's been a great week. D-Watt picked Chase Elliott to win, so I have to pull for Chase Elliott to win, except I will. And he picked Moran, so D-Watt, we can go ahead and give D-Watt the win again. That'll make it 11, 12, 12. Then we'll give him another one, then I'll get one. Then we'll be about to the last race of the year and be all tied up, so we'll see what happens there. But other than that, thank y'all for listening. D-Watt said it better than me last week, but hammer down. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time.